Press Start Video Games. Hey, what's happening? Welcome to this episode of Press Start TV. We're going to be talking about Watch Dogs, it's Retron 5, some best villains ever. In this episode, we're super excited. Let's kick things off with Watch Dogs. Hopefully you all had a chance to play it. Ubisoft's huge title, just so much stuff to do. The game looks amazing. It is amazing. It's just a lot of fun. What is your take on this game?
I love it. I love it. I love it.
So this is like a flagship title for them? Are they going for like a series or what?
When you guys talked to Kevin Short last year.
Can we do this without spoilers?
Sure.
Good.
I'll do my best because I've already played through the game and beat it. But like Kevin Short said with you guys last year when you interviewed him at E3, they don't build just new games. They build new franchises. Yeah. And I think they've got a great franchise going here because they've already said that they could take it to any city in the world and do it. And I think they could. This game was fantastic.
Yeah.
I loved every minute of it. I didn't stop playing it after I bought it.
So, and for those of you who are wondering, this game did come out on the PS4, the PS3, the Xbox One, the Xbox 360.
And coming to the Wii U later.
Coming to the Wii U later. And, Gage and I had a chance to interview Kevin Shorts, one of the lead store designer for Watch Dogs. And one of the questions we asked him was, what was the difference between the PS3 and 360 games and the PS4 and the Xbox One game? So what kind of a difference between those generations would you experience? And one of the things that he said or told us was, if you and I go to watch a movie and you go into the regular version of the movie and I go into the 3D version of the movie, we both watch the same movie. Take away the same experiences, but we still have a different version of it. It's like there's extra features and extra things. I thought that was a great analogy on what players can expect between the console differences. So that was one of the things I really liked hearing him talk about.
Yeah. I haven't spent too much time on Watch Dogs yet. I'm still getting into it. Mario Kart 8 is actually kind of distracting me a little bit.
You need to play some Watch Dogs.
I want to. The problem I have with Watch Dogs is it's just I already feel like fatigue playing it. I go into it and I feel like here I am again trying to play Watch Dogs. It's just, and one of the issues I thought I might have with it originally was there's too much going on. Maybe I feel distracted when I'm trying to play the game.
So I disagree. I think that if you're going to spend $60 on a game like this, and even as eventually it'll price drop, but there is so much to do. Yeah. For some people, like Skyrim.
That's for some people, but
Skyrim is a perfect example of too much to do.
Yeah, and I didn't enjoy Skyrim.
I enjoyed the
crap out of Skyrim. I could play Skyrim all day
I could play Skyrim every day, all day.
Ugh.
But even Grand Theft Auto, some people would be overwhelmed by that game because it's the same thing. Watch Dogs is also a very large game, but I love the fact that every time I pull up my map, I figure, there's something else I can do. There's something else I can do.
There's always stuff popping up to go do, too. Like, you could just be walking around, driving down, and a crime will pop up 200 yards away from you, and you can be like, oh, well, I was going to go do this, but let's go save Joe Schmo over here real quick and get my reputation up.
Just kind of
or just go slaughter everybody, which is a lot of fun, too.
I'm surprised, because it's a game, I think, also geared towards...
Grand Theft Auto players.
Well, I was going to say people that love trophies and achievements and stuff like that.
Well, that too, yeah. It's very, very easy to accomplish all the achievements and trophies in that game.
I loved Grand Theft Auto.
Except
had a great
the
time
drinking trophy. My God, it's so much work.
Yeah?
So much work. There's a drinking game where you sit down.
Oh, yeah, I did that. That's
it's
tough.
It's so hard. You gotta beat all
10
10 levels with all 3 drinking partners in the game, and it's so freaking hard.
Dude, and that was the other thing. I got so frustrated when I was playing chess.
I've got all the chess ones. And I got 3 stars on every single one.
Did you play a full game of chess?
I haven't even touched them.
No, I haven't played a full game of chess. I did the chess puzzles.
I can't beat the guy.
I don't even know where to find him yet.
Yeah, there's a big group. Anyway, there's so much stuff to do. You can play cards, you can play chess, you can
run over
do
zombies.
Secret missions. Yeah, you got like what's called digital trips in the game, which is basically
really cool. The flower one's a lot of fun.
Yeah, arcade type of games. I'd like
very
the alone
arcade.
one.
Yeah, they're very arcade.
Spider Tank.
Yep.
Spider Tank is a lot of fun.
So there's so much stuff to do in the game. I think they did a great job with it. I think the game looks and plays smooth. Some of the physics for me were a little off. That would be my only...
Yeah, controls weren't very tight.
Cars don't react like they should.
Yeah.
You can be cruising, 120 miles an hour in between two cars, scrape both cars, and just keep going 120 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I mean,
that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
One of the things when I was on the motorbike, I was like, like doing all this kind of stuff, like, and it was just hitting stuff, running into stuff. He was still on the bike. I was like, man, he is really good, or something's wrong.
He's super glued.
Duct tape.
But a lot of different gameplay mechanics as well. You can hack people online. There's a good multiplayer aspect to it. Again, just so much to do. The campaign. What did you guys think about the actual campaign?
I finished the campaign. I thought it was really good. It's got its ups. It's got its downs. It's.
I like the characters.
I love the characters.
Yeah.
It's got a good cast of diverse people.
And it kind of makes you think, too. Of course, the game takes place in Chicago. It makes you think, is that where we're headed? I mean, is this a reality?
It's kind of scary because we really could head in a direction similar to that. I don't know, right in the next 5 or 6 years, but definitely further down the road when smartphones become personal computers.
Yeah, and then the game talks about hackers being modern-day magicians at the beginning of the game. I thought that was a pretty cool take on it. I mean, it's almost glorifying the hacking thing, which was... it's neither here or there, but it is a great video game. It's just an amazing story, good multiplayer. I think a lot of people are going to really like.
If you're out there and you haven't played it yet,
play it.
Like
it's
everyone
worth
seems
every
to have bought
minute.
it. Sold really well.
Selling like crazy.
Yeah.
I like it.
So we're fans. Watch Dogs, check it out. Okay, we'll get into some more stuff when we get back. All right, welcome back. So right now we're going to be talking about our best villain ever. So many choices. There's lots to choose from. It's kind of hard to narrow down just, this is the best villain. I mean, it's like
there's a lot of different classifications you could go with this. You could do best boss fight with a villain. You could
best
do
boss fight,
best
like
villain overall.
most difficult. Like, was it fun? Was it just a pain?
Was it different? Was it unique?
Was it just a character? There's lots of. You're right. Lots of good can go into it. Let's just throw some out there. Sam, what do you got? Who would you say is your favorite?
My favorite of all time is Bowser.
Bowser.
Yes.
Kind of hard to
giant
deny
turtle.
Bowser.
The giant turtle. I love it.
With red hair.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
It doesn't matter.
He's really good at two things. One, capturing princesses.
Yeah.
And two, losing them.
Yep.
Really
He does,
good at it.
yeah, well, he also spits fire sometimes.
He can spit fire.
Sure.
And he's really big.
But he's really dumb.
Yeah,
So you can just jump right over
He
him.
does
And
get
he's got
mad.
a lot of kids.
I mean, he does get mad and he kidnaps Princess Peach and over and over and over again. But then he turns around and like jumps in the cart and plays some tennis and basketball.
He's
He's an
all-around guy.
they're like frenemies.
Yeah.
They're friends and enemies all at the same time.
You move into the high school bully.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Sorry for
He-
kidnapping
he's
the
pretty
princess.
awesome.
But
You want to play some tennis?
let's
Show
just-
up.
Anyway,
Take
I
it
mean,
for sure.
Bowser is clearly.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a
Bowser's
huge one.
He's a staple.
Yeah.
So that's a good one.
what else? One of my favorites that I liked was on Metal Gear Solid 3, The End. I had a lot of fun fighting against this dude. It takes place in a forest in a huge open world, but it takes some strategy. Basically, the fight with you and him, he's got a sniper rifle, you kind of got your snake skills, and you got to avoid just being picked off, right? It was great. I thought that I loved the character. I loved the idea behind it, and it felt like I was out there in the middle of nowhere just going against this dude, and I had so much fun playing against him. So
Have not made it that far. Thanks for ruining the end of the game. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
That's not the end of the game.
Playing through it again.
Still appreciate it.
That's his name. Is the end.
No, I get it. I get it. I get
He's
it.
in the first mission. Another fantastic Metal Gear villain is Psycho Mantis.
What an awesome fight.
Obviously,
That was
Really
so
cool. And then
cool.
Just sitting there and him reading your memory card, you're like, this is.
How does he know I played
doing this?
Castlevania?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. It messed with my head.
Yeah, and then you're just like, I can't beat this guy. He's everywhere. And then it's like, oh,
I get it now.
Now I have to. Should we just say how you do
Don't
it?
do it.
Don't do it.
Don't.
Even
There's
this
still people
old
that have
game,
not
we
played
can't
that
spoil this
game.
20-year-old game.
There's a trick, and it's all about switching things.
Look it up on.
Again, I agree. I mean, just one of the best characters. I mean, and another Metal Gear
sad that he
coming
only had
out.
the
So
one
hopefully
game,
we'll
though.
see. Some.
No, I think we're gonna see him in the Phantom Pain.
In Phantom Pain?
Yeah, because that first reveal trailer they did had a character that looked a lot
With
like
the mask
Psycho
and the
Mantis,
black
so
leather. And
I'm hoping to see him again.
that would be even harder on the
Gage, who's one of your characters?
One of my characters, and this is a little bias coming from me, the Joker from
No,
the
I'm
Arkham
not
series.
biased at all. Do you like Batman by any chance?
A little bit. You know, Batman's pretty near and dear.
So not only is the Joker one of the best villains in the as a whole.
I mean, of course, you can consider him more of a comic book villain, and then with the movies, the success of The Dark Knight, you think, or he's a movie villain. What he brought to the Arkham series was fantastic.
Yeah.
And of course, he's the main focus on Arkham Asylum, and then Arkham City. He takes a little bit of a backseat, but again, overall, he's there, and he's one of the other reasons why you're in Arkham
constantly
City.
taunting the Bat the whole time. Which
he even shows
love him in the Arkham series.
And he really
He
makes
has
the
an
story.
interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
Him
the
and
dude is
Batman
just-
are like the perfect pair.
He lives to take down
great
Batman, and if there's no
foils.
Batman, there's no Joker, and there's
Exactly.
no Joker, there's no
Is
Batman.
And he
Is,
says that several times in the game,
Yeah,
too.
like they need each other.
So prediction, is he going to make an appearance in Arkham Knight?
I won't spoil Arkham City.
You don't think so?
I think so.
I agree.
I think so, and
I don't think it's
going
gonna
to
be a big role. I think it's gonna be very, very
I think it's going to have
minuscule.
something to do with the Scarecrow.
Yeah, I agree.
Interesting.
But I think
Only
it's-
time will tell. We'll see what happens. Not. How about you? What do you got?
You know, I've played a lot of the Final Fantasy games, as everybody knows, and everybody thinks that Sephiroth is the best villain.
He's pretty good.
He's a good villain. I mean, he killed a very important person.
We're trying to avoid all spoilers if possible.
If you
If
haven't
someone
played
dies.
it, Sephiroth is jacked up in the head. That's the end of that story.
Anyway.
But now I like Kefka from the early days of
very
Final
popular.
Fantasy.
Very nice.
Very, very ruthless villain. He fit that series very, very well.
So far on our list, we have two clowns.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Great.
So the moral of
clowns
this
make
is
good
But
villains.
clowns.
and they're
Basic.
both, you know, one's taking down the Dark Knight and one is a Dark Knight.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting dynamic.
Of course, you've got Ganon from The Legend of Zelda, a very, very popular villain. Dr. Wily from the Mega Man series. Dr. Robotnik from Sega. Sonic, the Master Hand from Smash Brothers. Andross from Star Fox. And then some of the other ones from some of the fighting games. M. Bison from Street Fighter was a good
It
one.
was a good one.
Bison's cool.
Another popular one. Gage, I know that you like Gladys.
Gladys, I
from
love Gladys
Portal.
from Portal.
Love Gladys. I love everything about Gladys.
How do you take that small of a game and make such a good story out of it? And I think Gladys is the
Build
cornerstone
on top
of
of it with the sequel.
Yeah, and then the sequel comes out, and Gladys is more on your side toward the end of the game. Wheatley from Portal 2.
I love Wheatley at the
fantastic.
beginning.
Yeah,
I love it. He's hilarious.
You're like, oh, here we go. Finally, I'm getting some help.
I
from
honestly
somebody.
thought he was there to help me the whole way through, and then all of a sudden I was
Yeah.
like, ugh.
Seriously, like you're gonna switch roles on me? Awesome.
All I gotta say is, how are you today? I'm a potato.
Yeah.
I'm a potato.
the story, if we're having, and Valve does such a good job of having a main character who doesn't talk, but having everyone around them talking.
That's
and
a Valve's core mechanic in
just
their
making the
first-person
story
shooters.
with those two robot characters is
Yeah. Atlas
so
and
good.
Peabody.
If you haven't played
or
Portal
just-
2, play Portal 2.
Yeah.
Play it.
Okay, how about Handsome Jack from the Borderlands series? I know, Sam, you've played Borderlands.
He was funny and got you engaged, and also, his boss mechanics were not,
Wasn't
perfect.
the best fight. in the
Yeah.
game. It was a little
underwhelming.
Yeah, it was very underwhelming.
But he's a
So-
good villain.
But
He is a good villain.
I'll be interested
just
to
so
see
handsome.
how he is responding in
good-looking guy.
The pre-sequel.
pre-sequel.
Because
Will he be the villain,
Villain?
or will he be on your side, and
yeah.
just
Ooh,
get
yeah,
pissed
sure.
off? So it'll be interesting.
the stories there could, totally be switched up, and you could see a
In
whole new
between
different
1
side
and
of
2, So it'll
him.
be different to see how that plays out.
Sure.
I mean, there's I think the right villain makes the game. Another popular series, Resident Evil, Wesker.
Wesker.
Just a
Talk
great,
about
great
a dude
character.
messed up in the head.
Yeah.
But
Wesker.
Nemesis was, another good one.
Nemesis?
But-
See, I didn't like Nemesis.
Why not?
I thought it was a cheap character.
Okay.
I really did.
I like Nemesis.
I like the Tyrant from the first games.
Okay.
I prefer the Tyrant over the Nemesis, because the Nemesis, you could almost tell exactly when the Nemesis was coming because of the way they set the cameras up in the game.
Sorry, I didn't make the game. Don't get mad at me over here.
I'm not getting mad at you, but I just
know,
feel
man.
that the Nemesis was a cheap character.
Again, another great character, but having, especially as games become more cinematic and you have more of a detailed storyline, having the right villain to play those parts, and like the Batman series is a good example too.
and
having
I mean-
a great looking Joker with the voice and the whole 9 yards,
Right.
really, it's like,
Mark
I
Hamill.
mean,
And they really shoe in villains in those games. And
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and everyone has such a good role. There's not one villain that's you're like, well, that's kind of.
There's some
Misplaced.
villains that I wanted more of, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, and
Want
hopefully
so
we'll see
much
Hush
more of Hush.
2015. But
so if you're into
Hashtag
game
Hush
development,
2015.
remember, a great villain makes a great game. All right, we'll have more when we get back. All right, welcome back. In this segment, we're going to talk about one of our favorite things, and that is retro games. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the Retron 5 here. It's pretty awesome. Retro games is obviously near and dear to our hearts. I mean, this is what we grew up with playing, and
This started it all.
I grew up on. I mean, I sat on cartridges and grew up like building a throne of games. That's
Weird you grew up on old games.
Yeah.
Everybody's got really powerful lungs because they constantly had to blow into the cartridges.
And you're not supposed to do that, actually.
Yeah.
There's actually a trick. You're actually supposed to put your shirt over top of the end of the cartridge and then blow in. That way the shirt catches the moisture and not the contact.
Tips and tricks.
Tips and
everybody.
tricks. There
Tips
you
and
go.
tricks.
So yeah, the Retron 5 here is quite an amazing piece of machinery.
There's
it does so much stuff. It actually plays the NES, the SNES, the Game Boy games, the Game Boy Color games, the Game Boy Advance games, Master System games with an attachment, the Genesis games, the Mega Drive games. Just amazing. It does all of those
Famicom
games.
and Super Famicom.
Famicom and Super
the
Famicom.
Japanese market.
That's
Crazy.
10 things.
That's all right
That's a
here
lot of
in
stuff.
just this one
for
thing.
a little box to play.
It does come with an HDMI port on it, which is, I think, one of the coolest features. So when you're playing Mario 1,
Yeah.
this thing upconverts it to a HDMI signal. I mean, I got to imagine a lot of retro fans are pretty happy about that.
I mean, it puts everything out on 720T or
720T.
720T. That's a new thing.
That's new. That must be just for this,
Next
isn't
gen
it?
720T. 720p on your computer. I'm gonna stop.
Wow,
talking.
you just
You know,
all
on a
jacked
show
up.
we're supposed to talk. I'm done talking already. 720p. There you
Yeah,
go.
I mean, and not just for one system. I mean, this is a lot of systems.
10 systems.
That's crazy.
That's
That would
a
take
lot
up a lot of space on the,
Yeah.
on your shelf. Now you can have it in
Now
one
you can have it all in one fancy
convenient little
box.
box.
Yeah, and then fans of Retron series, I mean, a lot of people are actual collectors. They just collect the
Sure.
games. Some people actually really enjoy the games. They just want to play the games. And then some people are, let me buy something for the kids so they can see what I used to play and that kind of thing. It's just
And it's
hard
easier to get a
say.
hold of this than it is to get a hold of all of
Every
these
single
systems
one of those
separately.
systems.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And then of course it's cost effective too.
Yeah, plus
compared-
HDMI.
Oh yeah. I
One
mean,
plug
you
for
don't have
10
to deal
systems
with.
versus 17 RF switches connected into each other.
Let's not talk about RF. It's just bad.
Yeah, nobody likes RF. It's a dying art.
So it comes with the controller here, one controller,
One
a wireless controller.
Wireless.
One beautiful wireless controller.
It's purple.
What are your takes on this thing?
It's not exactly the most ergonomically designed controller.
Yeah.
It works for a wireless controller for a system that never had even wireless technology in its day. It's not terrible.
Yeah, I mean, that would be...
I like it.
Do you like it?
It reminds me of, the
It's got
Nintendo.
hard edges, and the original Nintendo
You've been
controller
babied. Get over
had
it.
4 buttons: Start, Select, B, and A.
Yeah, well, if I could go back to that, I would.
But
That would
you
be
can't.
awesome.
It's hard to play Genesis games with that same controller, which
Right.
is why they
Right,
have this
right.
laid out the way that it is.
I wish they would have smoothed it, like made it smooth all the way around.
Yeah, that would be my only thing.
Like, see here in the front, it's nice and smooth here in the front.
Show the camera.
But the back and the sides are all squared off. It should
not-
be smooth all the way around like the Genesis controller was.
It's not pretty, but it's not supposed to be pretty, you know?
Yeah, the
Right.
only
It's
thing
functional.
that I would say would be when I'm holding it, using the trigger buttons up top here is a little odd. But if I'm just playing it down like this,
Like an
it's-
old
it's
classic Nintendo
Yeah,
game.
it's a lot easier to use. But
But thankfully, if you don't want to use it, you don't have to.
You have all the plugs
You
for the
have
original
ports
controllers.
for- yeah.
2 ports for each system,
Right.
which is great.
It's fantastic.
and it comes with a nice holder.
The only thing I don't know is if you're playing Game Boy games, can you use an SNES or regular classic
You probably just
console
use the
controller?
NES controller.
But I'm guessing you would probably have to use the wireless controller.
Yeah, one of the coolest features I think on it is if you don't like the controller, it does have original controller ports for the NES, the SNES, and the Genesis.
That's what
So
we
you
just
can
said.
actually use. I mean, that's a huge feature.
No,
I
yeah,
think.
and that's and
That is
of course
good.
the people who are collectors they want to play.
They probably
or-
already have their controllers already,
Yeah, and
I still
and now they
have
just got
mine.
to plug them into this.
there you go.
Plug it right into it. I think that's great. I mean, like I said, retro games just a huge part of it. I think that the fact that it upconverts the signal, that's
Yeah,
I
I saw Super Mario Kart, and I was playing it, and I was just like, wow. I don't remember this picture being this
clear.
this clear and crisp. because again, it was on the RF switch, so you had to put it on channel 3, turn your knob on your TV or your VCR or whatever it was, and it looked awful back in the day. And now I'm like, wow, I can relive these games and not feel like my eyes are going to be burnt out of my skull.
Sure.
It's great.
And it's not expensive. You know, it's $140.
$140.
So you break it down, it's $14.
$14 a system, where some of these systems go for $50 to $150 alone.
Alone, yeah. So it's in your best interest if you're going to play retro games to have a retro.
Buy one of these things.
I think all video gamers should get one. I love the idea of having an all-in-one console for retro games. So much gameplay. Think about all the games that are on the Nintendo, the Genesis. I mean, this is
so many options.
So much stuff. It upconverts the signal. I mean, it does have the original controller port. So, being able to, like you said, play a regular NES game that just
with
had
the NES
A, B,
controller,
you can do that.
Taking it home, playing
because
Super Metroid.
I do not want to try. I don't want to try
TV.
and put the Contra code in with that joystick D-pad thing there.
See if it works.
Because I know it's not gonna go through right.
Yeah, so you're gonna get it wrong 100 times.
100 times before you finally get it right, and then by then your thumbs are gonna be bleeding from trying it so many times.
I'm done playing.
I'm done.
Goodbye.
I gotta go to the doctor and get new thumbs.
Oh, something this also does, it saves games. The games don't
Got a
have
built-in flash drive.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So you can just save your.
So you don't have to worry about your cartridge dying.
You get to World 3 and Mario, which
Good luck.
No one plays those. They just go World 4.
It's-
Anyway, you get there, save, come back to it later instead of just having to start over.
That's pretty sweet.
That's pretty nifty. I did not know that.
Oh, I bet you didn't either.
Hey.
You guys should definitely check it out. I think it's like we pointed out. It's just definitely for the money. It's a great value. I think all gamers should get one. If you love retro games, this is definitely a machine to check out.
It's a good machine.
Ringing endorsement from Press Start TV.
All right, thank you so much. That's all we have time for you today. We will see you guys soon.